I'm Addie Banks. This is In the News, and this is my report. The Patels are dead. Look at this beautiful, healthy family. The father, age 39, mother, 37, 11-year-old daughter, and 3-year-old son. It looks like a vacation picture. How do we make sense of this tragic ending? This BBC article, The Deaths That Came in the Cold, by Honderich and Gadakar, hope I didn't mispronounce too badly, was published February 11, 2022, and it should be a siren to the world. In January, we were told that a family from India traveling to America was caught in a Canadian snowstorm and they froze to death. We pieced together their movements. The Patels, in the days before their deaths, arrived in Toronto, Canada on January 12th from India. On January 18th, they arrived in Emerson. And on the 19th, their bodies were found dead. A man driving two undocumented Indian nationals was arrested. Police found 5 further Indian nationals on foot. The authors wrote that on January 19th, the young family had probably never experienced temperatures that low before. Even on its coldest day, the Patel's home village in Western India would not have reached within 10 degrees of freezing. Yet, that night, the temperature in Manitoba, Canada, dropped to 35 degrees below zero. As they walked, maybe for a couple of hours, maybe for more, sharp winds carried snow and shards of ice across the plains, reducing visibility to nothing. Officials surmised that the Patels had paid human smugglers to get them into the United States illegally. Theirs was a painful death. Canadians were asked about that night. Emerson has a population of about 700, close to the North Dakota and Minnesota lines. But in the blinding snow across frozen fields, winter conditions are unbearable. Air burns the lungs with every breath at 15 degrees warmer than the night the Patels traversed the land. Tears freeze in your eyes after a 5-minute walk, one resident said. Who were the Patels? And why would they risk life to illegally enter the United States? They were a typical middle-income family living in a small village in southern India. They were educated and at one point worked as teachers. They had a second home nearby in a middle-class town. Their parents lived nearby. The authors wrote, yet despite the appearances of a well-anchored life in India, something compelled the Patels to leave. a broken system that tells people that life is better elsewhere. A councilman there in their area, quote, stated that every child here grows with the dream of moving to a foreign land. He spoke of an intense and pervasive social pressure to move abroad, that those who stay are seen as incapable of raising the funds to leave while watching everyone else move on. Another article expounded on this. In the small village where the Patels live, flyers are plastered on lampposts and buildings, hard to miss even on a short walk down the road. They advertise to the residents, most of whom live in poverty, a better life abroad. They say study in the UK, Canada, free application, offer letter in 3 days. Get to elsewhere, where life is better and the dream is real. A reporter with the vibes of India stated, quote, they have met and seen several people like them who have come back to India after a decade and a half, talking about the quality of life and the bright future their children have. A neighbor in the Patel's village said, quote, when you walk in the streets of the village, you see no advertisements for food or grocery products. All you see are ads of US and Canada visas. Most of them even mention that visas will be provided without exams. Despite the way the tragedy has shocked the village, it is doubtful, in some opinions, that it will deter people. In Winnipeg, Indo-Canadians said they knew well the craze for moving abroad among middle and upper middle class Indians. Quote, people think there are dollar trees here, said Mr. T, an Indian who came to Canada when he was 26 years old, entering on a marriage visa. At 59, he tells about the life that Indian economic migrants aspire to abroad. He is considered successful. However, he believes that though highly educated in India and engineer training, upward mobility would have been limited. Quote, I was born lower middle class. If I had stayed, I would have died lower middle class. He discusses the smuggling trade there that is not new or uncommon. Mr. Shand was detained as an operative in the Patel case. Another Indian national caught with Mr. Shand told authorities he paid a significant amount of money to enter Canada under a falsified student visa. After crossing into the US on foot, he had expected to be driven to his uncle's home in Chicago. After the Patel deaths, a Dr. Patel in Chicago was instrumental in soliciting funds for their funeral costs. If the Patels had stayed at home, it is likely that they would be raising their beautiful children and enjoying life with their parents and siblings. But the dream beckons, and the Patels are dead. It sickens me as a Christian to read about needless death because of covetous greed. If your meager income affords your family a lifestyle of comfort, be content. And in fact, be grateful. Attempting to copy real success, as told by those returning home with better lifestyles than at home, promotes abandoning your homeland. I blame governments for allowing this to happen, for not stopping their brain drain and human resources loss, for not teaching love of where you are born, for not telling them of the resentments and negatives foreigners everywhere face. Homeland. Homeland is akin to your immediate family. Do you move in with neighbors because they seem to have more? Live more comfortably? Or do you love your family and build it up? Get to America is laced with challenges, even for those who find success, as we see how often they return home. We see how they spend a considerable amount of their resources building and supporting home. Lashmi Sheridan, Executive Director of South Asian Americans Leading Together, a civil rights organization, said, quote, every migrant makes an economic calculation around making a very perilous journey to come to the United States, end quote. He goes on to say, there's a demand being created to migrate to the United States, but not a means that's available to them that is safe. Are we to believe that Indians, many with multiple degrees, innovative engineers, and explorers of outer space, with dozens of billionaires, cannot solve the problem of uplifting their own people at home? Somebody is being enriched by selling dreams and transporting illegal immigrants out of their homeland. Do their lives matter? Do all lives matter? The Patels are dead.